Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good night, wherever you are. Thank you for joining us in the Spiritism Talk series presented by the United Spiritist Federation every Saturday morning at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Today, we have a very special talk. We are going to talk about the U.S. Spiritist in movement featuring the Family Spiritist Retreat. Some people even say, oh, this name is not correct, should be the Spiritist Family Retreat. It's been like this for 21 years, and we are delighted to share with you about this beautiful event that happens every summer in many states in the United States. I'd like to invite my friend Nahur, who is the co founder of the Family Spiritist Retreat. Hi, Nahur.
Hello, good morning, everybody. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you, Laura, for inviting me here. It's a pleasure to talk about the Family Spirits Retreat.
Yes, let's start. What is the Family Spiritist Retreat?
Well, it is how to put it. It is so simply put, it is a Sunday in the park with friends and family, sharing our Spiritist ideals in a fun, beautiful, natural environment full of activities for everybody of age.
Very nice. And remember our tagline, it's an event for kids
From
from
0 to 99 years old.
luckily. Can we share the screen real quick? It is an event for kids 0 to 99 years old, which means is an event at the park that we we create activities for everyone, for babies all the way to 99 years old. Let's talk about how it works now.
Yes, of course. You want to know how it works now or how it began?
How it began.
How
Tell
it
us how it
began.
began.
Okay. I was thinking about that. Like, I don't know if it was 2 years ago, we had the topic, like, if you love one another. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
And that is from a passage from the Gospel where Jesus says, or people you are my disciples if you love one another. And I think that is how the Family Spirit Retreat started, like 20, 20, 21, 22 years ago, right? We were a group of friends who love one another very much, who missed this kind of events that we used to participate as teenagers in Brazil. And we wanted to do something similar here in the United States. But here, the spirit centers are so few and so far in between that it was hard to just have only the teenagers come to a place together. So I said, okay, we need to bring the parents together because it's easier if the family is together. And that's how it started. We chose Connecticut. There's a beautiful park in Connecticut in Trumbull. We chose it because it was more central to all the spiritist centers in New England. So it was central for Boston to come, New York to come, New Jersey, Maryland, and other states here in the New England or northeast of the United States who had many spiritist centers. So that's why we chose it there. Um, and since the beginning, it has been the work of many centers that come together. Educators would um, plan the day and then distribute uh, tasks or ideas or goals, and each center would take one part of the job to do.
Yes, and one of the things I joined the family retreat, I think in 2010 as a participant, and then a few years, I think 2 years later, Eduardo moved back to Brazil and asked me if I could help uh, creating the event from that point on, and I did. And one of the things that really touched my heart and really made sense to me is how spiritist centers work together, each volunteer bringing a piece of a puzzle to put this beautiful event together. In these pictures, we see like, music, art, fun, and everything comes together in the park because we don't have time to rehearse. We are in different states. The ladies who work in the kitchen, the ladies and the gentlemen that work in the kitchen, they bring the food from their states, and everything happens
Yeah.
in right at the day, and that was always like one of my favorite things. And the amount of friends I have made through these years, including
Yes.
right? And now we're in Boston. I'm in Connecticut. So it's really been a blessing
Yeah,
for,
we should bring other friends to the conversation from other states who are here today, right?
yes, let's bring them. We have Catia, Adriana from Texas, Adenete também also from Texas, and Claudia. And hello everyone, and let's talk how this happened now, because like I said, we were doing this for 17 years in Connecticut, and then boom.
It was already a multi-state event. We had
Yeah.
Massachusetts, Connecticut, New York, New Jersey, um, Maryland. It would come. What else? Well, Rhode Island, even though there's not a center there, but they would participate.
It was,
People who live there, and that's it. 6 centers in the beginning.
maybe.
Oh, 6 states, but in each of these states, you have like maybe 3 or 4 centers participating.
Mhm.
So the event had about 300 people in the beginning, right? It would average about that number of people. And then COVID hit. And then we had this idea, right? Oh, in Brazil, there's this old saying there, well, when God sends you lemonade, I'm sorry, when God sends you lemon, you make lemonade. When God asks everybody to stay home, we bring the Spiritist retreat to everybody in the whole world. So we made a 100% virtual Feminine Spirits retreat in 2020, and we invited people from Facebook. We just posted on Facebook, YouTube. We made many videos. I'm sure we're gonna put some links here in the end so you can see them. And then we got to know all these people from Florida, from Texas, from California, because they participated. They enjoyed the idea of the event because it's fun. It's for the whole family, and it is instructive. So it has a spiritist message that we bring to everything we do, which we believe is very important. And then the next year they start asking, "Hey, can we do it here? Can we do the Feminine Spirits Retreat again? Can we do it together?" And we had so much experience from all these years that we shared what we have done, answered our questions. So you can ask like Claudia, like what did it take? How did our group help in the beginning of the Feminine Spirits Retreat in your state? Like how was it like? Yeah, anyone, Claudia, Adenete.
Yeah,
It helps if I take it off mute, right? Sorry. I couldn't find my mouse. Well, I'm Claudia. I'm from Florida. We started on the Zoom, right? And we did all those activities. And I thought when we were planning, it was funny. I thought it was going to be so lonely and I would feel so lonely because I was in my house with a little tent or something doing the thing. And in the end, it felt like there was so many people with us, even when we did it for the little ones, when we did it for the big ones. It didn't feel lonely at all. I thought it was going to be like TV, you speak to nobody, but it was fun.
I remember having that same feeling, Claudia. Like we thought, is this going to work? But people were so engaged. The kids, the adults, like people were sharing from their hearts and everything we did. Right? We did an evening only for couples, and it was very beautiful. We did an afternoon only for kids, small kids, and we
Yeah,
told the
that
story.
was there.
And they had to repeat something in the story, and everybody was repeating their houses. It worked beautifully.
but
So
you know
it
what?
was amazing.
blew my mind was the teens. Remember the teens?
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Teens from all over the world. We had like friends from Ecuador, Venezuela, London, I mean, all over the world. It was beautiful. Like the pandemic really changed
Yeah.
the direction of the Family Spirits Retreat. It really did.
What I liked about the teenagers' activity was we had the idea of asking them, what would you like to learn? What would you like to talk about? And we asked people to record their questions from all over the world. So they would say who they were, what city they lived in, what center they went to, and what question they would like to hear uh, answered in the retreat. And then because we're online, we asked people from Brazil, from all over the world, can you answer this question for us? Can you answer? So we asked people like um, Cesar Pérez de Carvalho, Jussara Korngold, Yves Haroldo, think people from all over the world to answer those questions for us. And they responded. And then we were able to show little clips in the event. But also we had so much material that we posted these questions and answers over time in our social media. That was fantastic. Adriana, how was it in Texas? How did you begin? How did you have this?
Well, my name is Adriana Martins from Texas, Austin, and we started on the second. Maybe I feel that we started together since you mentioned that about the if you love one another, the passage, the Jesus passage. If you love by this everyone will know that you are my disciples, and I feel like we started together because it was a new step for us. We started 4 years ago. That's our fourth event here, and at the beginning was something very different for us, and at that time everybody was more willing to get together because of the pandemic. Nobody would see each other for so long, and that was the first time we get closer outside with masks and everything. And it seems that the nature was like congregating with us all these feelings, and we were very blessed actually at that time. And the retreats for me brings like another level of understanding of Jesus lessons, and we are still in the process of being more comfortable doing that outside. For us, it's still like we need to get more, confident in doing that. It's new, like singing and doing theater, like Nahur is always willing to do. But we are getting there. This time we could do the theater, and Malu and our elder from Dallas, they came to help us with the musics and everything, and we has been a blessing for us to have that here.
Wonderful. Yeah. You said something that you reminded me of, but I should have written it down. Move to California and tell us a little bit, Catia. How was it that the event in California began?
Well, good morning, everyone. My name is Catia, and I'm based in California, part of the Chico Xavier Spiritist Center. And we had the invitation by Laura 2 years ago, and when we had our first family retreat. And I can tell that now it's part of our annual calendar. And I feel people really embrace and they really love the experience because besides of the regular public meetings and other events, that we create, that we have our charity events, but that's something for the family. It's very something very unique and specific. It's a time that we still have a speech, we still have our prayers, but it's kind of different. And we have the blessing that on our center we have a garden, a community garden. So then we take the activity outside. So when everybody bring a food, our group it's not that large, so it's a very big family. So we kind of gather around 60 people, and it has been wonderful. And I remember the first year bring the importance of the to be present in a spirit center right after the pandemic of that the virtual, all going virtual, trying to bring people back right to the spiritual center. So that was wonderful. And this year coming to me, that theme bring the importance, of the mental health. So we had a psychiatrist, part of our group, and she came from San Diego to give us a speech. So it was really, I think the team here, it's all every year, just we have just more and more people embracing
Yeah.
the event.
Thank you, Katia. We're very happy to have you and everybody else who
Oh,
joined
thanks.
us. Now, Laura, can you talk a little bit because she said something that many people may not have pay attention to. Can you talk about how do we begin planning? Like, how do we choose a topic and then the context, all the reading materials, all the things that we do in order to come up with the activities for the event? You're
You're
still
mute.
muted. Yeah.
Sorry. This is actually the very best part of the Family Spiritist Retreat. It happens behind the scenes. Most people only go to the day of the event and see what, enjoy a beautiful day at the park. But we start enjoying this whole process of putting the idea together. How do we come up with, the themes, how we come up with everything, the plays and the amazing things that we do. Usually it starts in January. The events are hosted in the summer, and we start meeting in January, and we start meeting sometimes bi-weekly, and comes like March, it's weekly meetings. And we start, and there's a lot of open conversation and talking, and letting the inspiration come, and letting the mentors of the Family Spirits Retreat like guide us towards what is the message that we want to convey in the next event. Like last year, we thought it was very important to talk a little bit about mental health. We came up with the theme "Come to Me," and all the activities towards like tools. The family retreat like offered tools for everyone for those days that we are not feeling very well, feeling down, or even going through some challenges. So it is we build piece by piece, and it's almost like creating the event comes, from it happens, right?
Yes.
It happens.
It's very interesting how at the end of the event, usually we start having inspiration about topics for the next event. It could be like a passage from the gospel. It could be something that someone mentioned in the day. So I think everybody was a little worried about mental health because after COVID, people are still um, suffering the effects, right, of the isolation. So we thought mental health would be a great topic. And then so okay, let's find in the literature, in the spiritual literature, in the gospel, what is the base that we will bring. And then we thought about that phrase from Jesus, like, "Come to me if you are tired, and I'll give you rest." So we tried to make it marketing, right? Okay, so come to me, right? might make it nice, so because otherwise it wouldn't fit in the poster, right? So and then we said, okay, now let's research YouTube lectures. Let's research the Gospel according to Spiritism. What questions the Spirit's book? So we started doing our research, and then from that, okay, how do we discuss this? How does bring this point out? So we wanted to talk about mental health to children, for instance, here in Massachusetts. So we used fear, like a child who was obsessed with fear. They have monsters under their bed, and then remember of this character. Calvin and Hobbes, right? There's this little boy who has a tiger as a friend, and he's always imagining things. So we brought that story so kids can enjoy the story, but at the same time, we bring in the end a message. So the mother brings one of those toys, Jesus Christ, like a little doll that is a Jesus Christ, and she lets him have him during the night because Jesus is going to protect him during the night, right? And then the boy starts imagining Jesus, and Jesus comes alive in the play and helps him send the monsters away and etc. So it's a way to bring the message that we researched, right? Um, to a play that the kids enjoy, the parents enjoy, and from that we break out into groups. The kids will continue their monster chasing kind of thing and discussing about the emotions that they have and how to deal with them. And then the parents will get some ideas about parenting, about their own traumas, or about. So there were mediumship. There were many things related to mental health. That Spiritism is unique, like you Spiritist therapies, right? And so we have many discussion groups for the adults, and then the teenagers. We came up with something that they would walk along the lake and talk about their own experience and difficulties and uh, dealings with mental health. And so everybody has something tailored to their specific age group. So that's always some kind of a trademark of the spiritual retreat. We do things together as a family, do things separate, and then we come together again to reflect upon what we learned.
Now you touched a very key thing about the Spiritist retreat, because you may be, you that are watching may be thinking that everybody, all the events did the same play that Nahur just explained. No. So this is how it works. We come up with the idea, we come up with the topic, we come up with the theme as a group, and then every location is free to create their own event. So there is no, we don't, everybody's free. We share a bank of ideas. We share some activities that we thought they were good, and everyone is free to create their own event. And of course, we share with each other because we love copying from each other. But this year, for instance, was the first year that we lost Nahur, because Massachusetts has always been part of the Connecticut event. And for the first year, I mean, we've been talking about it for a few years, but we never had the courage to do it. But this year, the calling was stronger because Boston is hosting the symposium. And we thought it would be a great way to collaborate with the symposium, having the family retreat happen there in Massachusetts, so the centers could start working together in their journey to the symposium. So we, Connecticut, felt like almost hopeless with our master Nahur. And we had to come up with other ideas, which was great too. Donnie, can you put the screen on to show everyone how many locations we had this year?
Oh wow!
Yeah, this year we had 13 places sharing the family organizing the family spiritist retreat, and we learned, right, Claudia, that maybe next year we are going to have Orlando in Florida. So we are excited about this. So it's been such a blessing.
Let's make a call out to Atlanta. They will join the fold someday.
Atlanta is our favorite topic.
I'm now traveling to Atlanta often, so maybe,
Yes, maybe, Claudia.
But in January, I'm going to have a meeting with the Orlando centers.
Yeah.
With the goal of trying to get them to work together and have their events whenever. I think they want a different date, but we're going to talk about it when January when we get there.
Yes, and this photo is the first event in Miami. Remember, Claudia?
Yeah.
It doesn't need to be big. That's how it was their first in 2021. Their first event in Miami. Only a group of people. and that was fine. This was the first time in San Diego. San Diego, always beautiful, sunny, and nice. They're not here today, but they are part of the family retreat in DC. Donnie, how is it? I don't have a picture of Baltimore, but how is it in Baltimore?
Well, I hope you guys can hear me. So my name is Daniel Santos. I'm from here, the Spirit Society of Baltimore, the state of Maryland. So to tell the truth, we have been part of this event since early the beginning. Not the beginning, because I think the first one was 2004, if I'm not mistaken, when Eduardo and Nahur came together with this idea of the an event in the park, right? So, but I believe we just go back a little bit in time. We joined the third one, 2007, if I'm not mistaken. And since then, we have been participating. In the beginning, we used to, was kind of like every summer, we get together, our families here, the Spirit of Baltimore, and drive all the way to up, because we are down up to Connecticut. So it was a wonderful weekend, and our kids participating. Nowadays, our kids is young adults. So,
Yeah.
but great memory, great pictures. So, the beginning, I was very active, in, recording, taking picture, and helping in any capacity, despite of the distance. But yeah, as we guys has mentioned, after COVID, we were kind of forced to do our event here, and it has been great. The first one we did together with the other groups here in Maryland, in Washington, D.C. is the picture that I guess I'll bring here for you guys to see it. So here is, we have more people than that. I think was the end, like a lot of people has already left when we came together and took the picture. But that was the first one we did together with other center here in Maryland. But the last 2 years we have done separately. Like we have done here in Baltimore, we have a small group, and the other group in the other center has been doing I think in Washington DC and in Maryland. So but it has been great. I think the idea to expand for more states across the US and see this event ramificating to other spirit center, I think that's for me is a great example of how a seed becomes a tree and bear good fruits. And if I have to put in a very poetic way, this event is like a event that if you have not participating, if you belong to a spirit center, even if you are not a spiritist, but you want to bring to your family to one of these events, just contact the closest spirit center, or even Laura here. Put a message here in the chat, so Laura is going to contact you and explain how to do the event. So but it has been great, and I'm glad to be here and to be bring a little bit from my point of view about the event.
Donnie, one thing that it's been such. I get so enthusiastic about the family retreat. Can you tell? One thing is like every year, so we have a group that we call the coordinators. Every single year, this group has different people. Some people that coordinate, that help in one year, decide it's too much for me, I don't want to do next year. And God is such perfect that they bring other people. So it's always a collaboration. And there is no, we are free to create something based on, of course, the principles of Spiritism and the gospel of Jesus. We are free to create, to make it fun, to make it creative, to make a day that is like unforgettable for all the families. And I think this is another beauty of the Family Spiritist Retreat. It's not one center that, who owns the family retreat? No one. It's not one center, one federation, no. Maybe next year I may not be here, but I will. Uh, but and someone else is going to come, and I think this is the beauty, and this is, and I think, as I was thinking, what make these family retreats so special to have last so long, with people coming and going, moving back to Brazil, and what made it so special. And I think it's this sense of ownership that we are open to give to everyone who wants to help. I don't know if you agree. This
I
picture,
totally agree. No, yeah, that's. I think you put in a very good way, and I guess in spiritism itself there is no honor, right? So we follow, there is no like hierarchy. We all try to work together to collaborate and bring the best that we can in sense of the common good, right? So in the family spiritual retreat, we portray this initial principle of spiritism, that at the end of the day, we are brothers and sisters with different ways to see and to organize our activity, but our common good is to make ourselves better and help others and serve. And I think that's what the family spiritual retreat does.
Yeah. Uh, so in everything you guys said just now, there are the two or three things I'd like to point. So I like to say that there are two family spirit retreats. There's one that happens on the Sunday with the families and everybody's having fun, right? That one that happens online, because since in the beginning we used to all travel to Connecticut to have the meetings there, all the educators,
there were no.
or once in a while we go to New York or Massachusetts, but most of the meetings we'd go to Connecticut. I would travel from Massachusetts, people would travel from New York, right? It was like that. But then go to meetings started, and then Zoom took over, right? And then we started doing these meetings online. um, and so that's where the second family spirit would happen, on these weekly or bi-weekly meetings with the coordinators and the teams of the different tasks, right? So we have the nutrition team, or the education team, or the security team, or the maintenance team. So you have all these people have meetings specific to them to talk about their goals with the coordinators. But there's this core group of people who are explaining the whole event, and uh, that meeting always is growing or changing, as Laura is saying. And we always try to bring something to that meeting, either like we study something and then we discuss it, or we do a little dynamic to integrate more. So this way the workers from different centers, different states, they get to know each other a little bit. So when we meet at the symposium or a national event, we already know each other a little bit, right?
Saturday, I'm going to meet Adenete.
Yeah. I want to ask Adinette, how was it for you, Adinette? Your first meetings, how was it? What was it like for you when you participated?
You mute.
Sorry. Hi, my name is Adenete. I'm from Sunrise Spiritual Society of Texas in Houston. This is our second year doing the family retreat. Last year, Elaine was the coordinator, and I helped her. I was part of the team to organize it. It was amazing. Everybody loves it. And we repeated this year. And I was like, I was not designated to go do the coordinator. I was like jumping in the meeting. They sent me the link. Go there. When I saw it, I said, oh my God, they're going to say the coordinator this year. Okay. Was kind of that. It was not, we didn't have a meeting or nothing to go, oh, okay, who is going to organize this year? So like, no, I jumped in. It's like, I felt in this meeting. And it was amazing. It was really, really good to know each other, know more people about all US. And I'm going to meet everybody now at least Laura. I don't know, Nahur is going to be there in this weekend. Yeah. And it's gonna be nice. The event was amazing. The 2 years, it's so amazing that the people is asking for another meeting in the park. Yeah, the people in the Spirit Center, and we will do another one in the beginning of November. We are planning, and we're gonna do one because everybody loves being in the park. Whatever is hot, because summer here is really hot. Last year was awful. This year was better, and they asked for something in the fall. We're gonna be a little cooler, and it's nice that we can like work as a family, enjoy as a family, you know. One thing that Daniel said about having more people is not a spiritist, and we have this year Muslim family enjoy us. They show up in the park and they decide to participate in the activities, and a pastor too. He stayed with us, sing the songs and the parts we are doing at the end. He stay over there, and we have people that's not from our center.
Yeah.
This was something that we knew that the spirituality was helping us gathering people, more people,
Yeah.
and it was really nice. It's really fun. It's something that I miss from Brazil. Where we got the people to stay more outside and have more people. I think that's it. That's make the one of the things that's making these events so nice. We are not inside the Spirit Center. We are doing something outside.
Yeah.
It's really nice.
Yeah, I really like what you said, Adenete, because these families, some people, sometimes we hear this from the people in the centers. They say, but I don't have a family here, so why not going to the family spirit retreat, right? And usually those people enjoy the most because when they go there, they find their family, right? Their friends. We have many people from different states. They go, hey, my cousins. We have kids who met as a young children in this retreat, and now they are in college and they're still keeping touch and they're still friends. They go visit each other in their states, right? So I think for the immigrant who comes to the United States, right, they lack this feeling of family, and they find in the family spirit retreat something to fulfill that need, right? To eat in a big lunch table, like with 100 people sitting in the table, right? And it's amazing. It's a great feeling.
Yeah.
And the second thing is our families here are mixed, right? We have Americans, people from all the nationality, Brazilians. So we always struggle in the family spirit retreat with language. How do we talk, right? And we try to translate everything in 2-3 languages, try to be creative, and maybe don't repeat everything. Maybe we make a play where people are mute, like, or they have a parrot and the parrot repeats everything in another language, right? So we try to be creative to deal with the language, but it's important to let everybody feel included, right? So even if the major announcements are all done in English, we try to make sure that we have signs in paper that people can see what was announced in their own language. And when we break down into groups, we try to create groups in different languages so everybody feel attended to and not forgotten, not excluded. So I think that's an important thing for families here in the US because we look so mixed sometimes, right? And we try to make English the main language, but we always accommodate because some people don't speak English yet, right, in our communities.
And now we're back to what you said about being a family. At the end of the day, we are one, right? We are one universal family. And the goal of the Family Spiritist Retreat is to bring everyone together as one family. Uh, if you can show the picture, this is us in Connecticut in the beautiful Old Mine Park. And here's some other photos of previous events when we had like tons and tons of kids and people here in Connecticut.
We need to give a shout out to our decoration teams. They do an amazing job. There was one year, the decoration of the park was to create a wall. It was the year where the Nosolar movie came out, and there was this beautiful wall from Nosolar. The people would come in. So we made it make believe, right? That the park was in Nosso Lar and people were sleeping at home and they were transported to Nosso Lar, right? So the whole
Was
event, André Luiz
2010.
showed
I
up.
remember that. It was
Yeah,
great.
remember that?
2010, yes.
When people crossed that wall, they were in Nosso Lar and everything was different. And that was the year where we changed our food options and removed meat from all the options. It was vegetarian only from that year until this day, right? So we offer a different kind of meal after that because in Oslar they live of love. They don't eat anything, right? Just love. Since we're not there yet, at least remove the meat.
Yeah, this is great. This is wonderful just to think about how much fun over those 21 years we had. And I think it was great to review with you guys to think a little bit of all the good seeds that we have spreaded over the years, and we hope that we have the privilege to continue spreading seeds and love through other events in the Family Spiritist Retreat. I would like to open the microphone for any final remarks. If you want to say
I would like to make a comment. So, being that we are there for 3 years, not as many as you guys have. Last year, we felt that we needed to include the word friends in the title down here because we are a bunch of single people here in South Florida. So we actually called it friends and family. We put friends first, and friends and family, Spiritist retreat, just like you guys, and we have an outreach program that it's all these people that live here and their families live somewhere else. And it ended up that this year we had 50% attendance of Spiritists and 50% attendance of people that are coming from any kind of walks of life just because they're part of our outreach program and they decided to show up and have lunch with us. So it was really, really different. And every time we bring them in, they end up coming to the center. So it's really interesting. I mean, some of them will come once or twice and then it's really against what they believe, but at least they come. They see that we are an example of good people. And they did try the first step. And some of them have come, left, and then came back later. It's really interesting. But it's through outreach activities like that that are inclusive to everybody that we get them interested in who we are, because that's how we get to show who we are, right? And for us, the fact of the level of guidance and then customization that we can have with this program. The first one of ours was only 12 people. And we were bringing it down from 300 people. So it was like, are we going to be able to make it? It was really weird, but we were able to customize it. And, to my humble level of understanding, I think our people came out with just about, if not as much, as the people that were in the 300 people program. Because people keep coming back to the event, so they like it. Some of them are not present because they're not there at the time, but they're sending messages. Oh my God, I saw the pictures. I was there last year. I really wanted to be there again. So some are not even there and they want to be there. And I think that's like out of this world. So the flexibility, the guidance, and the customization that this program allows us to do. I mean, we use the same program Laura did.
Yeah.
We just customized it a little bit to fit our size, our location, and our number of people.
Thank you, Claudia.
Yeah, I wanted to say something. As we are discussing this event here together, I was just imagining how much the spiritual team that we have not talked about yet. So we have talking about the organization, we have talking about how many years we have been doing this, and we as a spiritist should not forget that although we are a small group here in the physical plane, definitely there is a huge group of high spirituality that has been inspired each one of us. We don't want to put ourselves as special people, but people that has this goodwill to bring a such type of event. Because if we look at closely, we already have this type of environment in our spirit center that has different activities that include everybody, like the family, right? But to do this outside of the spirit center, in a place that's not the spirit center, in a park, for example, is something that I don't know if you guys have even thought about, because the amount of spiritual fluid energy that we generate during one day, we have no idea what those energy is going to bring to, because we feel we charge, we feel happy, but imagine how many people has been helped, how many spirit has been brought to those events as well, to experience what it is, participating in different activities that goes from, I don't know, babies to nine years old, right? So maybe we should extend this from babe to, you know, thousands of reincarnations, right? So I just wanted to give some idea, because we should include those events, the participation of our spirits, mentors, guides, as well as the organizer in the invisible plane. So I don't know what you guys think, but I just an idea that crossed my mind.
You said something that is so tangible and so visible during the family spirits retreat, at least here in Connecticut. We have had challenges, like we used to have rain day, uh, so we would have to pay uh, for 2 days to rent the park. But the parks became expensive. And the first year that we decided, well, it's going to be rain or shine, it was the first year that rained. It was the first year that rained, and it was the best family retreat. But everyone that was there keeps saying till this day it was the best family retreat, because the rain, it was controlled rain, and it just like we were so embraced by the spirituality. We were so we were feeling that we were that everything was going to be all right, and everything was all right. There was another year that we had the hottest day in the record of how many years I don't remember, and we were like, oh my god, how are we going to do this? And we would feel like across the street from the park, you couldn't see one leaf moving in the tree. In the park, there was this constant, not a breeze, but this constant air flowing, and everybody was fine. And we were like looking at each other. It's like goosebumps, because it was like everything was fine. So it is true. And we cannot imagine the amount of spiritual treatments that are done in conjunction with the energy that we bring from ourselves, with our, donation of love and service, plus all the energy from nature. So we cannot imagine how much is done there by the spirituality. Thanks for bringing that point.
Can I add one more thing on that topic? It was very powerful for the group in here when they realized that at that same day, right? Last year, it was every single center was reuniting different time zones, but everybody was on the same day doing the exactly same event. And I feel that force was felt. But again, due to the flexibility, I know this year we had two separate dates. And although again, and then forces, came together, and then many centers had their event in a separate date, but they were together, right? And with all the guidelines and with everything. So I just want to make that remark that it's very powerful, and especially for the team out here, and see how the all other spiritual centers, are together, and putting out the invitation, right? And then it's up to everyone to be part and embrace. So
In
it was
Katia,
very interesting.
Katia, you said something very interesting because now we have 2 days, 2 dates in the summer, but I can easily see this thing happen every month. You know, yeah, and then we don't no. So in the sense that it becomes something that this each spirit center has participated becomes a need in the spirit center, and then the spirit center can organize this family spirit day in their spirit center, not the national, but you know what I mean. It's like, so we have like every week we have mediums meeting, or we have like talks, right? Why not has an activity that's for the whole family? I mean, we
Right.
never know. I mean, we are planting the seeds here, and we already see that this seed that was planted in 2004, right now, 2004, 2005.
2003.
So now 21 years later, 2023, yeah, because 21st, so 20, so we already see, the progressing of this activity happen. So yeah, why not? So we should like dream about this possibility, right?
Well, Daniel, we are doing another family retreat in November, beginning of November.
There you go.
You see?
It's the same. It's the same thing. It's like we're not
Yeah.
gonna call family
Yeah.
retreat. We're gonna be in the park with activities. It's the same
Yeah.
thing, but in another day. We see if more people come, or only with the same people come. It's gonna be family things. Like it's gonna be fun the same way.
Yeah.
You see?
Well, I think it would be amiss if we did not talk about, at least two other events that are closely related to the Family Spirit Retreat. And one is the educators meeting that started before the Family Spirit Retreat. That's in that educators meeting is where me, Eduardo, Mika, Elder, and Jenny all met because we're all educators, and then we were learning about how to teach for kids and young people and teenagers. And I think we have Ubirajara de Oliveira from Niterói there, and so we were all there, and they were thinking we should do this again. We should meet again because we liked so much each other. We liked teaching. We liked spiritism, and we all had this background of a youth movement, a spiritist movement in Brazil, where we had during Carnival we would go to a retreat for 4 days, right? And then so we can't do that yet, right? So that's where the idea of the Family Spirit Retreat was born from the educators meeting, and that educators meeting continues to this day. So they still meet in Connecticut. I think there was a little pause for a couple of years, but they still meet every year. And it's I think they have a online presence now as well. If you are in another state and want to listen to the talks, I think you can participate that way. And it happens always in the Labor Day weekend in Connecticut, if you're going in person, right? But you can also sometimes participate online.
The week after Labor Day,
The week after Labor Day, yeah.
this Saturday.
Yeah. Oh, this weekend now, right? It's happening this weekend.
Yeah. And also now we can't forget to mention the not I think that the youth retreat who
Exactly.
started like 10 years ago.
Yeah, that was our dream actually to have the youth retreat, but we did the we did the family spirit retreat, but so we're happy that now
The
they
youth
have a
retreat, yeah, also hosted here in New England, Connecticut, New York sometimes, which made like this dream of three events, which is the youth retreat, the family retreat, and the spiritist educators. So yes, come to
yeah.
Connecticut.
So
Come
if you are an educator, and you want to, after the summer, where usually these Spiritist centers don't have classes, right? Because at least here in New England, we don't, right? So when September comes along, the educators are not that motivated sometimes to begin. So they go to the educators meeting and get all energized for a full year of fun with their kids. And then once that's done in the summer, we do the Feminine Spirits Retreat as a way to, and the youth retreat as a way to kind of close the year, right? In a sense.
Yep, very nice. All right, my friends, this was an amazing talk. It was so nice to catch up with you guys, to see you again. Soon we're going to be meeting for the 22nd Family Spiritist Retreat. And with that said, I would like to invite Nahur to say our prayer so we can start thinking about going to sleep.
It's too early. Why we're not going to listen? But yes, so let's close our eyes for a moment. Let's raise our thoughts, gather our best feelings of love, of peace, and let's invite our Master Jesus to pray with us. Invite our spiritual mentors to pray with us. Invite the spiritual guides of this country that is guiding the Spiritist movement forward to spread and touch the hearts of the people who live in this land. We are grateful for the opportunity to serve, and we also are sorry for all our imperfections, all our deficiencies, and the things that get in the way of bringing this message of love, of spirituality, of peace and fraternity to fruition. So we humbly ask our Master Jesus to give us strength, to give us wisdom, to fortify our bonds of fraternity across the boundaries of each state, so that we may grow a Spiritist movement that is based on the teachings of our Master Jesus, and as it was codified and explained by Allan Kardec and so many other mentors of the Spiritist movement to us. May this light shine bright in this whole country, in this whole planet, so that we may install in our hearts and the whole planet the kingdom of God. And God bless us all, and so be it.